Janju Bandu Tandi Gyasu Chi, Daki Chunye Gibe Tsonangi, Rola Benje Sangi Rupa Shu, Nidang Sugi Chunan Lai, Janju Bandu Tandi Gyasu Chi, Daki Chunye Gibe Benje Sangi Rupa Shu, Nidang Sugi Chunan Lai, Janju Bandu Tandi Gyasu Chi, Daki Chunye Gibe Tsonangi, Rola Benje Sangi Rupa Shu, Sa Shi Beki Chushim, Probably taken but Sangishin do be there why you don't dash in la juba, joy, don't go to the Namenda Candia Daya. Yeah, please adjust your sitting posture according to 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. And think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers not just once, but for numberless times. They are as kind as my mothers in this life. Even though all kind mothers sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering, however, due to engaging wrongly in objects of abandonment and adoptions, they do not experience happiness even for a moment. They only experience suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mothers sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mothers sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mothers sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtues, such as pain, sickness, and harms caused by 4 elements. May the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the bodies of all sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as mental sufferings and fears, and etc. Coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
Pages the one that confusion one direction, walk it through, so much in your town, how do you know? Chicken tower, dog show, direction, you know, more than student of the soul.
How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, coarse and subtle negative speech such as telling lies. May the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
But they just watching the vision man of the course of the show up for the follow watch you told that we saw the direction in the one and she made it.
How nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
We just the conditions is right at you to that on the no don't be showing the she Lama and she so that's not it's a great.
How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. I will free all sentient beings from suffering and its causes. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
Ordinary since it up she called and is one of the Kusula Mirana project that didn't get young about the Sunday to combine. But it up first young about the Sunday. Listen, how do you Sunday to combine and you say all this?
Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, by asking myself, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. However, I do not have the abilities to do so now. Who has the abilities? Only those who have achieved the perfect, complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment.
The ages since you're told to the Sunday to combine about show, maybe sequence of what you need. Tanganiga Daichi was the number change to share on the Roman say what you do to get up the Chinese. Tanganiga Daichi was taken debated logic on the thing of the number change to choose something to never change. I didn't know the situations.
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete white moonbeams at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, is one's mind becoming one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence, is transformed into a white five-pronged raja on top of the mundis.
But the age is double more than on it to be cheated at a kind of
Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. That I do not exist intrinsically one with, nor intrinsically different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist intrinsically.
This not the machine. Those of the Java continue with the condition is a party to the second machine. That was a kitchen in Nessa was a check what the case in teaching you want to try to teach you Nessa was a chimney. So the digging some of the way that there is a passion on this level is not point symbol. The GB was some machine.
Yeah, as I always say that if we could try to conjoin our virtues of our three doors with the practice of six perfections. And the first one is generosity. And generosity is a mind or intentions of giving. So these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma is for the sake of purifying the negativities of all sentient beings and also achieving the happiness for sentient beings.
Third age is choosing new level somebody speak by in symbol, putting his word. So, one symbol, was in minority. That you are going to about with the Majiba, chicken the bombing on it, they are supposed to check in. What they're supposed to check what they found out. Yes.
Next is morality. Morality is a mind of abandonment. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal negativities so that they cannot manifest.
That age is one of the choosing Niggerilla, and yes, I was a checker person. Because of the Lucien Gangi Kazit, the Tondo in Setu Batia, Jumbaina, a city Paginanis in the West, Montu Seba, Montu Seba City was in the machine.
Next is patience. So patience is a mind that is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will be patient with whatever physical or mental hardships there is.
That age is Zindish Paginanis in Banana, the Zindis of the Giola, Simba, Zindish was in Banashi. Then there's some with the Jebel of Hajan Sink, our 2 million to Zindis Domina, Zindis Paginanis in this.
Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will take delight in the virtue of I will take delight in accomplishing virtue and working for the welfare of sentient beings.
That age is Sandish Paginanis in Bala, Sandi and also Saint Gim, but correctly that City name by the Kanda Sandish and most in Banashi. That on the not the Zinigrian, and that yes, supposed to cheap because of that, and I say the not of the 9 water muscle. I say the Kanda supposed to be Asia or the City get to Bajubaina. This on the Paginanis in this.
Next is meditative stabilization. So meditative stabilization is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. During these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will single-pointedly focus. virtuous. Yeah, I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the virtuous object or intended virtuous object and do not get distracted or fall under the control of conceptual thoughts, conceptualizations. Last one is wisdom. Wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, the words, I will properly understand the meaning and the words of the teachings. Set a good motivation. So for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I will receive the teachings on Lamrim and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. Thank you. Out of the 6 outlines, we are here at the second outlines, which is demonstrating that these 2 include all concentrations. So the unraveling the intent sutra says that all the limitless concentrations proclaimed in the Mahayana and the Hinayana are subsumed under shamatha and special insight. Therefore, since those who thrive in concentration cannot investigate all its limitless manifestations, so they should thoroughly investigate how to practice the epitome of all concentrations. So epitome also means general summary. So how to practice the epitome of all concentrations, which is shamatha and special insight. So since they are limitless manifestations or limitless divisions of concentrations, so one is unable to investigate them all. So you should investigate the how to practice the general summary of all concentrations, which is summary and special insight. So shamatha and special insight is the one that concludes. Is the one that includes all concentrations. So to give an example to illustrate, this is a tree. So a tree, there are different parts. Their branches, their leaves, their flowers, and their fruits, and etc. So, however, all these comes from the source. So it comes from the source, which is the root. So the source is comes from the origin, which is the root. So just like this example, there are limitless concentrations of Mahayana and Hinayana, and all these comes from the origin, which is abiding and special insight. And this is quote from this information is supported by the quotations quoted from the Unraveling the Intent Sutra. So the wordings in the Unraveling the Intent Sutra says something like this. So even though there are numberless of concentrations that is proclaimed to solitary realizers, hearers, bodhisattvas, and etc. However, that two that conclude all concentrations are abiding and special insight. The nature, then come to the next outline is the nature of shamatha and special insight. So the nature of shamatha is set forth in the Unraveling the Intent Sutra. So again, the scriptural quotation is from Unraveling the Intent Sutra. So to explain the meaning, to explain the quotations from the Unraveling the Intent Sutra, so Je Rinpoche gives the commentary and it starts from the meaning of this. So this is the explanations from Je Rinpoche. So the meaning of this quotation is that if the mind attends to it continuously without distractions and stays on the object naturally, and whenever the bliss and joy of physical and mental pliancy arises, the concentration becomes shamatha or abiding.
only to bala tiu bu ya only to bala tiu mo ki je ga na yu ka mi ki la su su pe sa ta ba ya de la pe se ma ye ba ti ki la na ma sha de ga ina ala shi ne duwa yore ya se ko ne da ya yore shi ne duwa yore shi ne to ba yore es ne ba de only to bu yo ma ne se de so duwa.
So the meaning of this quotation says that if if one's mind remains single-pointedly, focus single-pointedly on the object's observations without distracting to other objects, and the mind is held inwardly or focused inwardly, then one can achieve calm abiding in this way without depending on the realizations of emptiness. So that's why he says that this will arise from merely keeping the mind inwardly, focus on its object of visualization or object of observation without distraction to other objects. And it doesn't depend on comprehending ultimate reality. In other words, it's the realizations of emptiness.
Oh, that's the kind of I want to page no no you know to the sheet more to see what that dealing on to pay ya want to search what as a number Jesus but kind of sheet more ma much like when I want to jail and so send it good so much you get the people what she need to go to what dealing that kind of she need to internet into the city bullet in the ground my world can go don't do that they not some in the but seeing the Kabula in Sarah Nicola Cheta, they did no one going to be shot against the things in the and was that but that did because what the old man also living in watching the which is what.
So Sarah J. Lama Jitsunba defined calm abiding in this way. So which is beneficial for the future when we come to the topic of 9 means of mental abidings. So just to introduce to you the definitions of calm abiding that are defined by Lama Jitsunba from Sarah J. So a concentration that is conjoined with the bliss of pliancy, in which the mind is able to set in equipoise at will on its object of observation in dependence on 9 means of mental abidings.
That is in the Kandarwa. That you need to lapa, you with it. Mother, you should need a Chetawan, she is in the water, home generator. Nema, if you need a Chetawan, you need. You are the Dini, that didn't you in your mom, as you have in the
And no matter how many types of calm abidings they are included in these two divisions. Calm abiding observing the varieties or diversities, and calm abiding observing the modes of being.
What she needs to do the Shirma, she took the word, Sashi production the word. Then she give it to the careers now. Say she would you like to a Shini. No, we got a city to live in a Shini, she gave the Shilwa. Say she would you like to I think the Shini was a Shini, the church of children. Say she would you like to a Shini. No, the people are city to live in a Shini. The Shini was that it's a matter of
So the etymology of calm abiding is, so it is called calm abiding because having pacified or come the scattering, the scattering towards the external objects, mind single-pointedly abides on the internal objects. So etymology is the word explanation. So it is called calm abiding because having come which is a calm abiding. So having come the scattering towards the external objects, mind single-pointedly abides, which abiding, so abides on the internal objects.
我的等到心里去，我当然说，因为我的那些就是从嘛，是颠簸的，有时候可能要不的，那个输了嘛，你就我这个点，那是哪里的嘛，这是吧？我是心里我这个心里主张的，对他的主张，这个楼顶的主张就对我，心里头是那个对农民我就挺好的，这个对呀，大大国家可能我。
你觉得你有的现在国家
我是常见的哦，因为他的东西就他，按照这个我这就是就不让你写是吧？我这地方经历的是吧？那等到什么时候经历？
Yeah. So this is the introductions on the definitions of calm abiding. the divisions of karma abiding and also the etymology of karma abiding. So it's good to understand the definitions of divisions and the etymology of them, because when we come to the topic talking about the 9 means of mental abidings, then we will have a better understanding. So 9 means of mental abidings here in the definitions of karma abiding is one of the methods. There are 2 methods to achieve karma abiding, and 9 means of mental abiding is one of the methods to achieve karma abiding. So the nature of special insight is set forth in the same sutra. So same sutra refers to the unraveling the intent sutra. So this is quoted from the same sutra. So after achieving physical, pliancy, and etc. So then the J. Rinpoche's explanations on these quotations start from here. So J. Rinpoche gives commentary on this quotation, saying that here, differentiation is a differentiation of things in their varieties, and thorough differentiation is a differentiation of ultimate modes of being. Investigation is a coarse investigation, and analysis is a subtle analysis. So investigation is a coarse investigation of the object, and analysis is a subtle analysis of the object. So this basically talks about how special insight engages its object. The way how special insight engages its object. So again, Lama Jinzuba from Sarah J. Monastery, he defined the special insight in this way. So from within the karma abiding. So this talks about achieving karma abiding is the prerequisites for one to achieve special insight. So from within the karma abiding, a wisdom individually analyzes its object by conjoining with the bliss of pliancy that is induced by the power of analyzing its object of observation. So this definitions of special insight by Lama Chidunpa is comparatively shorter, so it's easier to understand. So again, there are many types of special insight, and these types, these can be included in these 2 divisions: special insight observing the varieties, And the second, special insight, observing the modes of being.
어디 다 간다 이와디 다 간다 다시도 되어요. 아 다시도 간다. 그거 집이 주제돼 다 하바디 체바지 될 거는 하고 싶죠. 그래서 하바디 체바지 될 거는 하고 싶을 수 있고 다 다시 디스콘티고요.
So special insight in Tibetan is called Ha Hong. So Ha is etymology of special insight. So it is also because it sees the superior or special meaning. So special insight in Tibetan is called Ha Hong. So Ha is translated as superior or special, and then Hong is sees. So seeing. So then in English it's translated as insight. So the etymology of special insight is it sees, which is insight. The superior or special refer to this meaning. So it sees the superior or special meaning is the etymology of special insight.
좀 하바세와 될때 별로 된다는 무기 시험을 와 하바세와 돼 이니기 요 통화를 때 야, 그거 그래. 또 요, 막 그래. 제발 그거. 와. 나 세실래. 세실래야. 내가 기쁜 게 누가 너도 치래.
세실라.
와, 세실래. 와, 너도 되게 내가 누가 제발. 하바세와 돼. 그런데 뭐 뭐지 이제. 와. 어떻게 반다 한도 때 만다 와지. 세실이 요란 주반에 또 주반이 뭐니 만다 와. 한도 주반에 장이 이게 뭐 이거 치워지. 나 신이래 가서 얘를 합이 이단 대화 쳐봐지. 야 얘를 그 신이 도는 것도 기장이 되고 동요로 와. 얘를 대화 쳐봐지 또 야 방도 또 얘를 쳐봐지 또 같이. 어디 되게 배 와서 와서 야 마무리 좋아.
So to explain the words special or superior, so it has different explanations. So it can be it is special insight is more superior or is more special than seeing the objects of karma abiding. Because is more superior than karma abiding seeing its object. Binegi yu tong wala ro ajala. Shinegi yu tong wale. Yeah, so special insight is more superior or special than the karma abiding seeing its object. Another way of explaining this superior or special is special insight engaging its object is more superior or more special than other minds. So because of this, and there are different explanations on these words, special or superior.
어디지? 나 간다가 한국에 다가 그다음에 이제 원래로 와. 한국에 진이다 이와 다시 되냐고 숨바지. 이게 진다 이와 다시 되는 숨바지. 이게 맞아로 보는 예수들이 또 얼마 간다 레오리. 간다 한국다 진이 좀 시간도 되고 내가 받자 두 가지 정말이나. 간다도 그거 지금 와.
So I have already introduced you the definitions of special insight, divisions, and etymology of special insight, together with that of karma abiding, with those of karma abiding. So identified well the definition, divisions, and etymology of them. So when this is like the basic information that we need to, basic knowledge of karma abiding and special insight that we have to know. So if we understand these, then when I explain further, then you will be able to apply this understanding to the explanation on the text.
어디 나도한테 아까 군주들이 그거를 나가서 무슨 너 굉장히 general에 받을 내가 하고 있는 거 봐. 와. 나 디디셔 온다 막 디디 그래. 니네 세트 봤을 때 그 니가 야시지와 나 되게 봐봐 주는 거다. 그래서 세트 봤을 때 지로지라 봐 투어디 신이 너도 못 받을 수 있는 봤을 때 내가 데려와. 지로지라 투어디 question 너도 세트 받아 너도 못 받을 수 있는 봐. 데려와. 너도 시험다 힘이 세트 봐요. 방도는 얘가 제바 집에 소도 비셔라. 얘가 제바 집 소도 비셔라. 방도는 소도 봐서는 와. 어디 다 정말 도도도 쇼풍가 되는 거.
And the words in the clouds of Jewel Sutra is even shorter. So shamatha is a one-pointed mind or single-pointed mind. special insight is fine investigation or individual investigation. So the meaning is exactly as what I mentioned just now. So shamatha is a single-pointed mind. So single-pointedly focus on the internal objects without scattering to the external objects.
어버 근처들에 대화를 소개해 주세요. 신이다. 센티티브 한도 소도 비켜라. 주지 상방도 대화를 소개해 주세요. 이 상방 간다. 와. 미기 동반데 신이라는 겜바지 한도란 들이나서 간다. 나츠 미야데. 이제 비니스와도 간다. 미고리 버드비 돼. 미바 간디지나 간다. 두바이나 나츠 페샤바는 아마 보고 싶은 건 미터지 못하바 슬로우디. 그다바 간디지는 못하바 보바이네다. 도도 되는 있어. 이게 단지입니다. 봐. 이게 단지입니다. 봐. 제가 디나로 바꾸나. 누무다바 보미다바 신도 못다바서 가리나 누가 그렇구나. 보미다바. 등도 생지 가리나 이래 못다바서 진짜네 못다바. 최단은 못다바서 러우디. 안다 뒤지 용수도 받는 뒤로. 그래서 와. 내 나시. 안다 최나 미군의 뜻에 맞아. 내 저와 সম্পর্কে দিন 소도와 필주민의 동반돼서 이 소가 나와는 들어와. 아주나 특히 신이 좀 나오는 그래서 간다. 걸리지냐. 이게 신이 좀 받는 거래. 근데 이제 단계마다 서로 분화시 위해서 뭐. 아마 산업화에서 못 잡아 보니까 내가 뭐 가지 했다. 이 수익 때도 그거도 간지 때도 못 잡아 보고 있는데 내가 되는 있었대요. 와. 어디 나시소 와.
And Venerable Maitreya also says the same thing in Ornament for the Mahayana Sutras. It says distilling words about phenomena or summarizing words about phenomena should be known as the path of shamatha. So distilling words or summarizing words about phenomena should be known as the path of shamatha, meaning that all compounded phenomena are impermanent. So this is how it summarizes words of phenomena. So words of phenomena can, for example, impermanence on the basis of the aggregates, on the basis of form, on the basis of tree, for example. So when it says all compounded phenomena are impermanent, it summarizes the words of the phenomena, so other compounded phenomena. So then should be known as the path of shamatha.
다 집어요. 너들 한도로 뭐 제가 심도 한도라 그랬어요. 이봐 그거라 되게 또 넘버 집어지기 싫어요. 넘버 집어 샤스 좋아. 한도라 된다. 한도 미바 되다. 예. 어쨌다고 진행이 되다가 그 관계가 되게 또 넘버 집어지기 싫어요. 하루 그래서 어때 고도 쉬고 참아 대화로 되나? 어때 운다. 다들 지도도 들어와. 이게
So similarly, while a full analysis of their meanings should be known as the path of special insight. This again, as I explained, the meaning of tomb abiding and special insight that we have talked about.
양다 비팅이지 벨라티니 생도 바키니 그래서 넘번지 시럽대로 한도 좀 했어 무슨 거였어 뒤로 보니까 비비스오니 대신 와서 생이야 뭐 상황이 있나 네가 생이도 된다도 못 지나도 처음에 비는 봐 제가 주도라고 그러고
So then Rinpoche explains the meaning of the quotations from as is spoken by Venerable Maitreya in the Clouds of Jewels Sutra, Clouds of Jewels of Sutra, and also in the Unraveling of the Intent Sutra. So Rinpoche says that, so placing the mind in reliance on correct concentration is known as shamatha. So again, if you understand the definitions of Lama Chizumba, just now as what we have mentioned, so if you understand the meaning of it, then when we come to the explanatory commentary given by Rinpoche, then you also can it is applicable.
다 예를 마치다가 양자마도서 샹스에 내가 소개해서 샹사데 머리 바바 참마가 내가 소개해서 왔다. 아 기회는 와서 뭐 대신 뭐 시간 놓치다. 아 샹사에 간에 샹사가 머리 바바 스카이스나 머리 바발 다 신이스 왔다. 또 신이 시원. 미바데 세시로 디라 넘바 이용하듯이 나도 미바라 제 봤어. 신이나 나도 미바라 제가 쳐요. 세시로지라 좋아지 나도 미발라 붙이 나도 미발라 진도라 눈이봐 너무 눈이 내가 그게 하나 띵에 제가 때문에 가와다 근데 가와다 이게 좀 이게 승리라 찌라 얘기지라 신이 이래서 와 나게 근데 신이 계속 오다 고리 바발 맛 지지도 되다 맞죠 와 세시로지라 너무 영화대 봐시니 세 나도 미발라 지지도 니고래 나도 미발라 제바치야요 말해서 신이서 왔다 내지 제가 제가 했다. 나도 미발라 찌지도 얘기지. 와, 나도 미발라 간다. 찌지도 니네. 그때라 간다. 진도 찌지도 니네. 왜 간다. 얘니 가와다. 대화. 미신도 좀 가와다 대화. 그래서 가디 제바이나. 우리 띵에 지들 지네 지금 뭐 누구래 지네. 그래서 가디데 가디 제바이나. 니 나도 가디데 가디 제바이나. 띵에 미신이 미쳐버려. 그래서
So again, bodhisattva levels also present the same, presents in the same way, and the second stages of meditation also say the same thing. So he says, once distraction toward external things has been pacified or calmed, then resting with joy and pliancy within the mind itself, continuously and naturally engaging its object, is called shamatha. So shamatha in Tibetan is called shine. So shi is calm or pacified. Ne has the meaning of abiding, bites, to abide or to abide. So again, these explanations is something like the etymology of the word shamatha or calm abiding or shine. So once distractions towards external things has been pacified, then one continuously and naturally one's mind continuously and naturally plays on the internal object until one develop the joy and pliancy within mind itself. So when the joy and pliancy develop within the mind itself, this concentration becomes shamatha, becomes abiding.
니 데니라 니 비치나 때 코나라 때부 방에 받은 방도에 니 그거는 힘이 데니라 니 비치다 니 코나라 봐니 데라게 때 셔로지 아마 그렇지 데르지 넘버 찌박게 방에 받은 방도에 해서 왔다 힘이 데니라 니 데려와 니 데니라 니 비치다 니 코나라 봐 니네 찌박이 봐 찌박이 넘버 찌비 찌박이 셔로 방에 받은 방도에 해서 에디시우도
So again, the explanations of special insight is, at the time of abiding in that shamatha, any thorough analysis of suchness is known as special insight. So again, at the time of abiding in that shamatha or from within the calm abiding, so it has the same meaning. So observing that object, any thorough analysis of suchness, observing that object is known as special insight.
내가 너시 간다 허비 힌디 빈집이 시시맹아래 내가 선냐 누구세요 허비 힌디 빈집이 시시맹아 신도와 뭐 시시맹아 시시맹아로 내가 너시 선냐 누구세요 내가 막 간다 신디 내가도 풍지에서 와 풍지에서 간다 장사다 모리다 어디 보내다 어 근조 집인도다 이 정방을 송비 대신 어디지기 지에서디 정말 간다 길하게 뭐도 막 소리야 누구든 다 지를 붙이 봐 처음 콩이자 와 콩사로
löben cái 시시명아 될 löben
힌디바
탄디바
힌디
신디바
힌디
yeah. And instructions on the perfections of wisdom explain this in the same way. So instructions on the perfections of wisdom is composed by Master Shindipa. So basically, why these scriptural citations are mentioned here, like it is from the instructions of the perfection of wisdom sutra, stages of meditations, bodhisattva levels, from ornament for the Mahayana Sutra spoken by Venerable Maitreya, and the clouds of jewels of sutra, and also the unraveling the intent sutra. So it's to show the origin or the source of these quotations.
다디 오늘 가서 들려본다 다 스타딩의 시시맹아 세디지 마시오디 네 가서 되는 디시고요. 다 기내다 한도 세워다 매시 번에 제가 지금 말해서 한테 계시고. 기내다 한도니 제반지야 돼. 미부 유주군이 제반지가 말해서 이 제반 먼저 유진 마시고도 사디의 희시 명안에 시간이 이래라 진짜 진미가라 제가 기내다 한도니가 됐다와라 미바야 됐다와라 내가 니가라 미바 여바지 다 나다 미바군이 제반지바이나 내 제가니 유주군이 제반지바이나 이 간다 내가 돈이 마도 운동을 돈이 또 비요 무서워다 근데 지금 이거로 제반지야 요 말해서 간다 내가 미주군이 제발 지금 말해서 와 그러면 제발 니가 돼 간다 나 니가 짓다와 지니까 니가 하는 거야 그래서 제가니 미주군이 쓰는 문제데 나 돈이 또 비시네잖아 그래서 돈이 또 비시네 그래서 돈이 마도 비 한도야 한도라 돈이 내봐도 저거 말아 한도라 내봐 우리 또 우야 말이 돈이 마도 비 한도야 그래서 와 들이 와서 나 신신은 나도 너 이제 너도 미발라 얘기가 다 신이 한도 지와 또 하바데 제발 대한 거는 한도 지다디 제발 이게 뭐라 와 디시야 마도 미국은 제발 제가 요 말이 있습니다 기라니 이때도 되지 대중
So according to Bodhisattva levels and instructions on the perfection of wisdom, it says that shamatha and special insight can each have both the ultimate modes of being and things in their variety as its object. Therefore, shamatha and special insight are not differentiated by way of their objects. Because there is shamatha that realizes emptiness, and there is also special insight that does not realize emptiness. So here it explains that special insight and calm abiding cannot be differentiated in terms of its object. So because they are calm abiding that realizes, some people might think that special insight has its object is emptiness, and shamatha is its object is not emptiness. So some might think in this way. However, this is not the correct way to differentiate abiding and special insight, because they are shamatha that realizes emptiness, or calm abiding that realizes emptiness, and they are special insights that do not realize emptiness. So special insight is not necessarily realize emptiness.
디지털 전략이 디지털화 사기의 20년간의 선박이 된다 디지털화 다시 내년에 대반이다 간다 뮤직을 개발되고 말해서 이제 되리로와 어떻게 된다 되지 시험도 된다 이게 원래 시험에 간다 진도야 간다 원래 그래서 나니 간다 스케치하기 가지고 제가 지금 말해서 된다 되지 간다 셋또 와서 이제 얼마 딜레무도 와 그다음에 간다 시간 제발이 스케치하기 가지고 제발 이거 제가 뭐다 왜 간다 대파 가시기 되는 거래 뭔가 스님 또 받니 봐 리피 사장 아 매번 지내다 사치 가는 거 한번 저기 예스 예 가시기 되는 거로 와 어디 따지는 거 되게 말해서 간다 신라게 제바데 사장 세 간다 또 봐 니바 세 위바라 니바 대거스베 니 사장 나 여봐 얘가 사장 아 매번에 한번씩 어디 되게 제바 제가 말해서 와
여봐는 하도 매번에
제바 이 제바 제가 말해서 이 제바 지금 이거 제바에서 한 번씩 좋은 거 같은 거 그래서 엔딩 말해서 같이 제바 되게 말해서 개박하시기 되게 요거로 와 개박하기 되는 거다 제가 우리 바깥 되게 말해서 이 제바 좋은 말해서 그 먼저 그 주제 막 제바데 이 제바데 연기된 이게 시와 요매서 제바데 근데 제바데 사실 나 이거다 내서 제바 저데 이게 집에 누가 여보다 내 같은 게 개발해 마도 이니가 한국의 제바된 제바 말해서 이 제바 말해서 어디 어디시와
And some people claim that mind abiding non-conceptually without a vibrant clarity. So vibrant clarity different translations. So a vibrant clarity or intense clarity of nations is shamatha, whereas if it does have a vibrant clarity, it is a special insight. So again, then this is not the correct way to differentiate calm abiding and special insight from the point of view that whether it has a vibrant clarity or intense clarity of the cognitions. So they claim that that with the vibrant clarity or intense clarity, then is is a special insight, and that without a vibrant clarity of cognitions is shamatha. However, this is not the correct way to differentiate common abiding and special insight. So because it says that, but this is not correct because it contradicts everything explained above. So, and because these distinctions is merely a distinction between the concentration with or without laxity. So whether it has a vibrant clarity of cognitions or not is the point to the factor to differentiate what is to differentiate is the factor to differentiate whether that concentrations is with laxity or not. With laxity, then without the vibrant clarity. Without, then one has a vibrant clarity.
나 제발에 가다 선생님이 여기 제발에 띵인지 신화 연대 상이 제발에 예스다 되는 거서 내가 간다 괜히 세워들라 간다 띵인지 신화를 내가 쓰지 모르겠어 그런데 지에 신화 내가 상바지 모르겠어 와 상바지 모르겠어 신화다 자기 띵인지 상의 생기 사차도 내가 모르겠어 와 그 신화 자기 띵인지 상의 생기 내가 사차도 모르겠어 이제 모르겠어 와
Yeah. So because this distinction is merely the distinctions between a concentration with or without laxity, right? So this is also because every concentration of shamatha must definitely be free of laxity. And in every concentration that is free from laxity, clarity of the mind will definitely come or arise.
돈이 또 받아 대사 못 봐.
돈이 또 봐.
돈이 또 받아. 돈이 또 받아 대사 못 봐. 진도와
대사 못 봐.
대사 못 봐. 대사 못 봐서 가지 신이 의미로 이게 이거 못 봐. 돈나 병도 진도와 대사 못 봐. 진도와 대사 못 봐. 진도와 대사 못 봐. 대사 못 봐. 진도와
대사 못 봐. 대사 못 봐.
나도 되게 된다는 말이야. 돈이 또 받아 대사 못 봐. 되니 제발 막 된다 싶어. 그래도 얼마. 내가 시간 되니
돈이 또 받아 대사 못 봐.
대사 못 봐. 되니 제발. 돈이 또 받아 대사 못 봐. 제발 되고. 대시고 나도 막 된다 싶어.
So and then from this from here onwards, then he talks about the difference between that realizes emptiness and that realizes emptiness and not realizes the bliss and clarity. The difference between these two. 동이 또 받아 대사 못 봐.
대사 못 봐. 되니 제발 싶어. 나 간다. 네 제발 싶어. 나 그냥 띵이다. 싫어. 이제와는 이 돈이랑 띵이지 싫어. 그거한테 이미 간다고 해서나 돈이들아. 이게 담이니. 나 간다 그 담이 치 담이니라고 한다. 얘네 가야로와 이게 또 마음이 걸려 딱 해주고 해서 그런다. 돈이랑 띵이지 싫어. 그거한테 가르치면서 돈이랑 네 가르치는 것을 위해서는 이거 돈이 세워들아. 이거 담이니요. 해서 또 되게 또구나. 띵인들이다. 저런 띵인들 또구나. 내가 간다. 다 유대 얘네 거기 동게들라. 돈이 또 내가 돈이 또 비셔서 돈도 비셔서 돈도 띵인지 이구해나. 그 다음에 봐 괜히 강지 또 해서 뭐. 그 다음에 다 지기 다음에 제가 뭐 되니 버리지 또 해서 어디로 싶어. 어디
So identify whether a mind is a concentration or a wisdom that observes emptiness. We must check whether that mind realizes either of the two selflessness. So in order to say that it is a concentration that realizes emptiness or it is a wisdom that realizes emptiness, then you must check whether the object is the two selflessness or not, is either of the two selflessnesses or not. And these two selflessnesses are referred to the selflessness of a person and selflessness of phenomena.
나들아 간다. 돈이랑 띵인지 세워야 가르치거든. 그러면 돈이랑 띵인지 있으나 반상 담에다 띵인지 아치 담에 띵인지 그래서 야 돈이랑 쉐러시 있으나 나 반상 담에 치 담에다 쉐러시 그래서 간다.
니랑 또나 그 제발 나 돈이라 돈이 대미게 띵인지 돈이 또 띵인지 나
내가 돈이 또 계시고라 되거든. 담에 그거 그것도 또 막고 이건 자료에서 그때 간단히 싶더라. 어떻게 시시고.
So basically, the meaning here is whether it is a mind, whether it is a whether a mind is a concentration or a wisdom observes emptiness. So in this context, observes here also refer to the meaning of realizes. So observes or realizes in this context. Then you must check whether that mind realizes either of the two subprecesses or not. If it is, then that mind is a concentration that observes emptiness or wisdom that observes emptiness.
다들 나 간다 이거는 돈이 마도베 돈이 됐으나 녹화 마셔비 다 대사부터 비팅이지 밤에 대사부터 비팅이지 저런 거 가두베 신이 길라 와 이것도 비신이 길라 샤고 대사부터 비팅이지 진도와
你等于你其實當然拖把當第四米多被定人先嘅，你貼把所有的。
그니까 오늘 비팅이지 저런 게 제가 시고로 와
當然都
비팅이다 비팅이지 간다 어떻게 그러셔야 이거 돈을 비팅이 대사부터 비자야 될 자고와 대사부터 봐
頭先嗰個啦，當然多被多把當第四米多把幾貼把嘅。
비팅이지에서
我當然會定人。
돈이 또 셔름이 제가 시고 돈이 또 비팅이지 와데 돈이 또 비팅이지 동반에 또고요나 그것도 무슨 한 취지다면 간다기 다음에 비팅이지 이 돈이 또 셔러디라 아 돈이 또고는 갔다 오시나 그거를 돈을 취지다면 또 됐어 이 그러니까 그다 유티 제가 시고 봐
Yeah. So at the beginning, he said, the difference is, is to differentiate whether it is a concentration or a wisdom that realizes emptiness or not. Then one must check whether that mind realizes its object, whether it is one of these two substances or not.
나들이다. 이 고난이라 녹화 마시고 대사 모두 비팅이지 밤에 요리해야 돼. 돈이 마도비 대사 모두 비팅이지 빠다면 요리해서 돈이 모두 대사 모두 비팅이지 와야 돼. 대사 모두 비팅이지 는 것도 심이라. 내가 가져와 줘.
돈이 마도비.
돈이 마도비 대사 모두 비팅이지 망고 요리 빠다면 요리해서
돈이 마도비 대사 모두 비팅이지 미도 비팅이지
망고 요리 대사 모두 비팅이지 돈이 또 아래에서 못 된다. 대사 모두 비팅이지 봐 돈이 또 아래에서 또 그게 진짜 대사 못 돈이가 녹화 상황이 많기 때문에 대사 모두 비팅이지 뭐 요리 그래서 빠른 거 요리해서
So this is because there are countless non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity in which the mind is not directed at the ultimate nature of an object. So in other ways of saying this is because there are countless non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity in which the mind doesn't realizes emptiness.
대 여기 제가 또 아주 돈이 마고야 선 돈이 마고야 뭐또 비팅인지 대사 모두 비팅인지 제와란 게와 요 말이 돈이 마고 바이나 대사 모두 비팅인지 제와 뭐요 말이 해서 뭐 말이 해서 돈이 마도나 야 대사 모두 비팅인지 지금 제야 요래 해서 이 제와란 게요 말이 나와 요 말이 해서 돈이 마고야 슬로도
대사 미도 비팅인지 대신에로 아까비.
신내 돈이 마고야 모두 비팅인지 대사 모두 비팅인지 제와라 저와 통수자요 말이스 돈이 마도나 대사 모두 비팅인지 제와라 좀 외워 주세요 요 말이스 주시는 거 원시고 뭐야 시켜 줘
So non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity here refers to calm abiding. So because there are countless calm abiding in which the mind is not directed or doesn't realizes emptiness. So it is established by the direct perceptions of perceivers that it is possible for a mind to apprehend without discursive thought, not find the view that realizes the ultimate modes of being. So the meaning of this sentence is, even if one doesn't realizes emptiness, one can develop the non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity. So even if you do not realize its emptiness, you still can develop calm abiding.
나도 이거는 대도 돈이 뭐고야 뭐또 비팅인지 제와란 거와 주세요 요 말이에서 내가 드셔고래 그러니까 대사 모두 비팅인지 되게 돈이라 마음이나 돈이라 마음이나야 그러나 우리 전입이 최라 미네 최근다 전입하고 우리 군도 비추지라 미네 최가 미네 다 받아 이라는 산지 고 나와 그냥 미네다 돈이 많아 나한테 돈이 많아 우리 산지 고 나와 기라 예, 세 유유 내가 배 세기도 넘바 샤네 되게 넘바 샤바 되라 세기도 넘바 되긴 취 이 세기도 넘바 샤바 되긴 취를弄내로도 제도 거리 예수弄내서 뭐 제도 거리 예수弄내서 인즈를 뭐 제도 거리弄내서 뭐 제바이나你写了也如果借我的话应该说啊我借我的谁来搞的借我的谁来搞的借我的看到那搞的借我的那得什么都不定的现在透过的借我的也是对你把同的我是我今年一对吧就那前年报告嘛的今年把嘛的搞的借个也是搞的借把那搞的做那么一看到사차用的得什么都不定的就也是那什么都不定的这个贷款的多好了对我你说我这里弄多啊我对他看到都对也什么都不定的借把了我把东西多了对我嘛的也是对么对吧东西嘛因为是钱的身体就老实话的你说那个谁这季度我讲的别了这季度讲的有点不恐怕就的这种内容的弄内容的也是的话你是也是的话这里讲的这是那个的对的你那个时间给我这里这个有点就的看到那个那个进步也是说的我这里公报的
叫来叫我哋。
也是么都定的这个也是我这个人我我什么
Yep. So these non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and reality, bliss and clarity, sorry. So these non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity, so so it does not necessarily observe emptiness, because they are non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity observes phenomena other than emptiness. For example, Buddha's body. So they are non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and clarity observes the Buddha's body, which is a conventional phenomena. It is not a emptiness, which is a conventional phenomena. So by single-pointedly abides on this object, then once so by single-pointedly focus on this, and then by the power of this mind, then it gives rise to serviceable mind. And then bliss at that time is not precluded, because when the serviceable wind arise, is natural for bliss and joy to arise in the body and the mind. So when the wind becomes serviceable, the bliss, the joy and bliss will arise in one's mind, and the bliss of the pliancy will arise in one's mind. So once that has arisen, the power of one's clear sensations of bliss and joy produces clarity in the mind. So therefore, you cannot proceed that all blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations realizes emptiness. So again, you cannot. So some may think that blissful, clear, non-conceptual realization is the other way of saying this, non-conceptual concentrations of bliss and reality. So some might think that blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations has it always realize suchness or emptiness. However, this is not the way to proceed. It is not. You cannot proceed in this way, because blissful, clear, non-conceptual realization do not realize emptiness.
다 군도 시바 준세 됐죠. 돈 지오니까 돈이 또 빙해지다가 간다 대사 못도 봐요. 우리 돈이도 빙해져야 대사 못도 봐. 아니 그게스. 돈이가 로카 마쇼 빙해져야 대사 못도 봐. 뭐이 시바 그 그러니까 대사 못도 봐서 야 돈이 저원이 못도 봐래서 뒤에 말해. 돈이 또 봐요. 예서. 돈이 또 봐. 돈이 또 대사 못도 빙해지. 열에 돈이 또 해지. 열에 예서. 열에 이나 우리 마토비 인연이라 대사 모토바 유아테 마 이거리 에스테 마 치와데 대사 모토바데 돈이 마토비 대사 모토비 인연이 같이 마한테 이거리 되니 치반제 그래서
돈이 미도베
대사 모토비 인연이 마 이거리 그래서 근데 돈이 또비 대사 모토비 인연이 이게 뭐하는 거지 뭐 리스트 반도와 이거리에서 대사 모토비 인연이라 돈이 또바 요거레스나 이거리에서 와 돈이 또비 인연이라 대사 모토바 요거레스나 요거레스 이나야 돈이 로카 마슈비 띵에들 다 대사 못도 좋아해. 아니, 되게 제가 시작을 해. 다 도도 드시고 나면 문제 되려.
So to summarize these paragraphs, it means that blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations. So blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations. So not all blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations realizes emptiness. But it doesn't mean that there is no blissful, clear, non-conceptual realizations realizes emptiness. You cannot say that there is none of the blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentration realizes emptiness. Sorry, I rephrase. So you cannot say that all blissful, clear, non-conceptual realization realize suchness, because they are blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations do not realize suchness or emptiness. So, however, to compare the blissful, clear, realized non-conceptual concentrations realizing emptiness to the blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentration not realizing emptiness, the blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentration not realizing emptiness is more than the one that realizes emptiness. You understand? Sorry, it's a bit wordy. So blissful, clear, non-conceptual realizations. So can realize emptiness, or there are types of this concentration do not realize emptiness. So these concentration that do not realizes emptiness is more than this concentration realizing emptiness.
당와서 대사 못도 봐서 되게만 시대만 공부하는데 그것도 디시네라 포고래. 막 에서 사서 못도 봐서 디만 뭐지 다 싶어. 대사 못도 봐서. 대사 못도 봐서 그래. 대사 못도 봐서 대서 인가 대신다 대서. 되고 인가 대신. 근데 신이들 이제 되어서 뭐로 대사 못도 봐서 대서 인간지 이 신이는 대서. Esa moto ba se gudo esa moto ba de kanda esa moto bi ka to ji pe chini la wa esa moto ba de se wa de shi jiang ji de sim na de se mo de ka to ji da ha bu na wa.
So when we talk about this bliss, clarity, and non-conceptual concentrations, so this blissful or bliss, the explanations of this word bliss or blissful is, since it is infused, since it is conjoined with the bliss of pliancy, is called bliss.
Oh, this is the that's what the since such a thing in the cell, say long war such a demons. Sing war such a demons that say devil. Sing war such a demon cells.
Singing or such a demon.
Such a demon. Such a demon of war say what I say, can you saw. Since you was such a demon, since such a Kaduna, since such a demon,
yeah. And the word clear is called clear because the nature of mind is possessing the clarity. The nature of mind is with clarity, so therefore is called clear. And non-conceptual is called non-conceptual because it single-pointedly abides on the object without analysis, without investigations and analysis. Therefore, is called non-conceptual. So, in this context, blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations refer to come abiding. So yeah, this is the introductions. So this is the explanations on the words blissful, clear, non-conceptual concentrations. Then we come to the fourth outline, which is the reason both need to be cultivated.
뒤시 기회를 하소리래 공부 못 줘봐. 기회가 하소리래 내 공부 못 줘봐. 그러니까 공부 just 관계에서 도와드리고 제가 이 도와드려 답변이 전에 말해드리고 와. 도와드 내가 도와드라 막피 그걸 말해드리고 와. 그냥 제목 놀이터에 대한도 마음에 누가 그래도 마음에 봐와나 마음에 신도 싸워. 누구 뭐 요와 니들 대바이나 놀이 시장을 장하고 누가 이제 뭐 관리가 돼 싸워 공부를 했어 그거 그 싸워 공부를 했어 마음에 뭐 싸워 싸야 마음에 뭐 싸워 되게 싸야 누구 지나 싸워 주의하다 싸워 이나다 뭐 싸워 관리는 누구 지나 그래서 싸워 공부 많이 했어 그거 누구 지나 다들 누구 뭐 제가 tempo de más de chawara ni chama tempo de ni de se tempo de se ni para ce ki de ni de tempo de se no ye da dang do da de so de ni se ma se ba shi ro yi la mo chuo tempo ni de de wo ro wo de ne ka da dang do se wa de ke pe da ha cha sa wan tong ki de wa sa wan tong ki de wa sa wo wo de da de ka da de ni de ba ina 와 싸워다 눈거 뭐 지와 니다 대바이나 아니 통고이나 이 인연을 내가 자고 취지 인연을 간데 통고이나 안돼 이 타와지 포도들이 해서 이게 하도 니가 대바 취지는 내가 간데 나 타와지 포도들이 무엇이노 파도들이 이게 다 하도 제 인연 방송 말했었어 예 이게다 신이 자원이 내가 이나 그거 지요 하도 지금 뭐 방송 말했어 이 방송 말했어 근데 네가 그거를 해봐.
So why is it not enough to cultivate either shamatha or special insight? So why must one cultivate both? To illustrate this, then these illustrations, then you can get the answer, from these illustrations. So when you light the butter lamp at night, in order to look at the murals, if the butter lamp is both very bright and doesn't flicker due to wind, then you will see the painted figures very clearly. So however, if the butter lamp is not bright or is bright but flickers in the wind, then you will not see the forms clearly. So this, the wind do not, the lamp do not flickers because of the wind. So then it refers to come abiding. So the not flickers in the wind, do not flickers due to wind or not flickers in the wind. So it refers to come abiding. So because when we talk about come abiding, it is a single pointed mind is a mind that's single pointedly focused on an object without scattering towards external objects or having pacifying the conceptualizations and the distractions, right? So not flickering in the wind, as it refers to abiding, and that which see clearly. So that which see clearly, that which see clearly is a special insight. So if one cultivate both abiding and special insight, then one will be able to realize the modes of beings of phenomena as it is, and one will be able to eliminate afflictions as well. So if one only cultivate special insight alone, for example, then one cannot eliminate afflictions.
근데 전에 뭐 간지는 다 차서 세고 동물이 해서 보러. 다 세고 동물이 해서. 그러니까 그리 찌다 가서는 다 동물 보러 와. 이게 다 뭐 봐. 아, 마베 싸웠다. 싸워. 지금이나 지금이나 뭐 말에 그 뭐가 나시는 보러 와.
Yeah, so in this example, the butter lamp, how to say, the bright butter lamp is the special insight, and it doesn't flicker due to wind, refers to the abiding. So then, if you have these two together, a bright butter lamp, and also it doesn't flicker in the wind, then you will see the painted figures very clearly. So any of these is absent, then one will not be able to see the painted figures clearly.
What turn on my gathering? Turn on gathering, you got something. Awala said, really just a day. You must see telling you what turn up a jar, turn on my gathering. One on the Shimolo of the sheriff, the counter of Roa. Of the sheriff, see me bala chetan, they were not she didn't even Moyoa. She had Roa. See me bala. Remember, he go. Moyoa. They need a demba, need a demba enough. The economy is the one who missed that one days out with this one. The Javula, Sabi, our economy, the Shinji Molobangi, the sheriffs or the Handola Haja, but when the Handola, or they say me Bala Chetan, they were Nash. Maybe the Koyoa, the Shinish. They need a demba that one economy, sparkling, yes, one. What is sure?
So likewise, with respect to viewing the profound meaning. So through these illustrations, the meaning of this is likewise with respect to viewing the profound meaning, and you will see suchness clearly if you have both the wisdom that ascertains the meaning of suchness without error. So this wisdom that ascertains the meaning of suchness without error refers to the special insight, and the imperturbability of the mind that stays on its object at will refers to calm abiding. So if you have these two together, then one will be able to view the profound meaning.
What they will say here the mature maybe two beginnings your chance. Let's see here the mature beginnings the yoga. You to be sure the Mabina. What I think about right. You get my two was my husband. Wow, you know about the sigma reason. Say here the mature and the beginnings the yoga in a Hey, Jiboyana, you know to be sure of the manner. Thing in the c'est pour moi, tu vas, puis bonjour, tu vas, tu vas, tu vas, tu vas, tu vas, tu vas, tu vas,
However, if you do not have the wisdom that realizes the ultimate modes of being, you will not penetrate the ultimate modes of being, no matter how much you familiarize yourself with concentration, even if you have non-conceptual concentrations and your mind remains unscattered. So another way of saying this is, if one does not, if one doesn't have the special insight, and if you have the non-conceptual concentrations, the context is calm abiding. So if you have developed calm abiding, but you haven't developed special insight. So if no matter how much you familiarize yourself or habituate yourself with the calm abiding, with these single pointed concentrations, one will not be able. It is impossible for one to realize the ultimate modes of the reality.
Oh, did you know? That under the door. Quand c'est que nous sommes Dieu là, il nous peut bien de me voir là. Il dit la carte combattina. Là tu dis que tous mariés, soit ni que on va. Il y a un anchi là. Ah, il y a un anchi. Ah, on avait pour le chi tawa. On peut dire ouais là. Pour dire ouais là. C'est si tu te ne pas. Il dit de me voir là. Ya, tu ni nous que sans conscience. Ya, tu sans conscience. Mais t'as pas de chi pas là. Ouais. On avait pour le chi de tawa de ouais là. On peut dire ouais là. C'est de ne pas de me voir là. 다 최나지 미루게 야서 또 시그마레스 또 시그마레 아니 봐 네가 우리 주지 내는데 싸움 통발라 너 네가 우리 에스 다 되는데
So similarly, if you have the view that comprehends or understands selflessness, if you lack this firm concentration in which the mind remains single-pointed, you will be unable to see the meaning of the ultimate modes of being clearly. So how to say here it talks about if you have a special, if you have abiding, but you do not have special insight, then it is impossible for one to realize the ultimate modes of being. So similarly, if you have one of the other, one of these two, the second example is if you have the special insight, you have the view, you have the view that understands selflessness or comprehends selflessness, but you lack the abiding, then one is unable to see the meaning of the ultimate modes of being clearly as well. So the meaning is, therefore, both shamatha and special insight are necessary. So the reasoning is mentioned here is that one has to cultivate both calm abiding and special insight. If you just cultivate either one of them, then it's not enough because you are unable to see the ultimate modes of beings clearly. So to support the reasoning here, the Rinpoche quoted the second stages of meditation says, with special insight alone, without shamatha, the yogi's mind is distracted to other objects, and it will be unstable, like a butter lamp in the wind. As the butter lamp will flicker in the wind. So because of this, then the lights of exalted wisdom will not shine forth brightly, will not be clear as well. So which is why you should rely on both equally, providing a special insight equally. So, and a mind with the power of shamatha. So now he talks about if one has shamatha but do not have the special insight. So a mind with the power of shamatha will not be moved by the winds of conceptualizations. So winds refers to conceptualizations. So that's why it says winds of conceptualization. So like a butter lamp secluded from the wind. So a butter lamp that is not in the wind, it's not placed in the wind or placed somewhere windy. So because of the power of shamatha, so one's mind do not fluctuate. So because of the shamatha, do not move by the winds of conceptualizations.
방송에다 방송 yes. 신이다 더 한번 찍고 있나? 한번 말했어보다 여기서 시리도 가와 미국 방송 말했어. 신이다 다이 한번 지어봐 있나? 신이다 다이 한번 찍고 냥이 제가 있나? 미국 방송 말해. 단 미국 방송 시지 가 방송도 방송 물어. 어디시고?
So you need the power of shamatha. Similarly, you also need equally, you also need the power of special. Because the Moon Lamp Sutra describes it. Through shamatha's power, you will be immovable. Through special insight, you will be like a mountain. So, meaning that you need special insight, abiding and special insight equally. So, if you only this, if you only rely on special insight alone, without the support of abiding, then one will not be able to eliminate afflictions. So don't mention the obscurations to omniscience. So you know the meaning of reality if you analyze with wisdom that is conjoined with the meditative equipoise of shamatha that is not balanced by laxity or excitement. So because by the power of shamatha, then one will not fall under one's concentration will not be influenced by laxity and excitement. So from within the meditative equipoise, is not unbalanced by laxity or mental excitements. So on the basis of this, then one will be able to realize the meaning of reality as it is. So with that intention, the compendium of the Dharma says, when your mind is in meditative equipoise, you will know reality as it is. So it means that from within the meditative equipoise, that is not unbalanced by laxity and excitement. And when one analyzes the meaning of reality, then eventually one will come to know the reality or realize the reality as it is. Same as the first stages of meditation says. So since the mind is unsteady like water, there is no abiding without the basis of shamatha. So, and the mind that is not in meditative equipoise cannot know reality as it is. The Blessed One said, the mind in meditative equipoise fully knows reality as it is. So it means that while remain in the meditative equipoise and analyze the meaning of reality, then one will eventually come to know the reality as it is. So a mind in meditative equipoise. Without that, it's impossible for one to realize it.
이 도바이나 다 개와 간디지나 개와데 꼭 챙겨서 니가 챙겨서 와. 너 간디지나 니가 지금 꼭 챙겨서 다 간다 힘이 되게 개와 간디지나 개와 때때 이게 보면은 이게 되게 세 많이 받지 되고 다들 세고 많이 다들 세네. 네 받지 되고요. 와. 어디 너가 간디지나 꼭 챙겨서 되게 간다고 마시고 다 되고 마시고
the do sunday.
어, 신이 두 나왔으면
Mm.
어디 신이 두 나왔으면 와. 아메라서 다 둘이만 그거 드시고 간다. 신이 누가 있는데 개와 간디지나 꼭 챙겨서 되게 간다고 마시고 와.
So basically, this paragraph talks about when if you accomplish shamatha, and as a result, everything virtuous you do is powerful. Because when you focus on each individual objects, whatever it may be, you are never pulled away to something else.
그 신이도 두 번이나 간다 다음에는 어째버지 싫어지 요이진의 봐 우리죠 와 신이 여바이나 싫어도 요이진의 도고를 요이진 지여라 봐 이와도 가는 와 신이서 신이 되어서나 나 싫어지 열라 집이 싫어지 나 싫어지 요이진의 도고를 그래 요이진의 도바 맞에 하나입니다 하고 받아 이래는 거의 이미다 전부다 이게 생겨와서 뭐 수업도 싫어지 제고 가기 제바 시간이나 그럼 봐라 이 제도 이봐라 이 제도 파산에 이봐 너는 이봐라 이봐 될봐 니도 뭐야 그래서 괜히 듣고 와서 대화에 뭐지 지금 예시 내가 비시고도 와 어디를 된다 다시니 누가 있나 누가 그렇게나 그래서 세고나 또 지금은 저거 이제고나 또 지금 예시 내가 못 따라서 상담이나 이봐 또 지금 예시고 또 지금 이제데 간지 고바이나 나요 와 완도 와 괜히 가동요 와 그래 된다는
So when you accomplish shamatha, it not only eliminates the faults of your wisdom consciousness wandering off while correctly analyzing selflessness. So this calm abiding is able to eliminate the faults of distracting to other objects. So when you develop the wisdom correctly analyzing selflessness, and with the basis of shamatha, then it is able to eliminate the faults of wandering off to other objects, the objects other than your object of observation. So it also eliminates the faults of distraction during all analytical meditations that you do with fine investigative wisdom or wisdom of individual analysis. So there are many translations for this word. So the fine investigative wisdom or wisdom of individual analysis on impermanence, actions and their effects, the faults of secular existence, love, compassion, training in bodhicitta, and so forth. So because of this, then as a result, so everything virtuous you do, whatever virtuous thing you do, it becomes powerful because you are able to focus on the object without getting distracted to object other than your observation object of observation.
다시니 누가이나 와서 기업 사와라 또 지금 다시니 많이 비교도 다시니 마토 비교도 간다 개와 간디지 사와이나 그렇게 세임 비내서 요 간디 비교 간디 제바이나 간다 추스kal나 요들 심바다 따다 니모도 그 배너서 찾으시는 다 대가 libro 그 간디 집에가라 너 상호 내가 나서 봤더니 상호 마모 신경도 왔더니 용으로 와 어디 공부를 해서 간다 이래서 그래서 생일별가라 소소 소소지 단 지금도 이 반디 집에가라 생일도 우리가 소소 하고 야세의 반디가 증표는 야들 소소 지야 여러 와 진주를 소소냐 무슨 거와 요 간디지는 중국에 해서 신의 마토나 그 제지의 진주를 소냐도 와 진주를 생일 넘버 예면 내무치 하면서 이제다가 거기서 일이 뒤서 제기다 생일이 시바는 일이 비 되면서서 생일에 돈에 그 제주배 지금 누가 가가 이제 무슨 가가 지금 너무이나 내가 전부 두고 말했어 내가 전부 와 내가 전부 두고 말했어 세계미 아니로 와 조가디 제바이나 전부를 플러스면서 와 전부를 막 한와 이렇게
So until you obtain shamatha, so before you have developed, so before you develop calm abiding, so any virtuous practice you do will be weak. It's not powerful because of the predominance of distractions. So then, how say one can relate to oneself. myself, when we do prayers, when we do our prayers or our sadhana, and we always think about, there are many thoughts come to our mind, right? So thinking about something else, thinking about let's say something other than the prayers, and then we think about works, family matters, and etc. So a lot of distractions. So because of these distractions, whatever virtuous practice we do is weak. So until you develop shamatha, then whatever virtuous practice we do is weak. So just like entering the bodhisattva way, bodhicharyavatara, it says that person with a distracted mind is in the fangs of the mental afflictions. And the sage thought that recitation, ascetic practices, and so forth, even if you pursue them at length, are pointless with a distracted mind. So in the bodhicharyavatara, it says that even you engages in the virtuous practice for one whole day or for a long time. So if you do it with a distracted mind, then one is unable to achieve the great goal.
That's what you do. That's what police would do. That's what police are doing. That's what you do.
And so I'll stop here, and then next class, I'm going to talk about how their order is definite. So before we end our class, is there any questions? Yeah, Gua, you raise your hand.
Whether you're doing samatha or vipassana, your mind is focused on the object of meditation. And that object is impermanent. That object is also dependent arising. Therefore, my question is, can you really separate samatha and vipassana? Or whatever you do, whether when you are doing meditation on samatha or vipassana, you are focusing on a single object or you are analyzing. But my question is that can you really separate them? Like, for example, like in Vajrayana, we meditate on vipassana and samatha together. So this is my question is it possible to really separate them totally like that? That samatha is one subject and vipassana is another subject.
To separate them, you mean the object?
I mean, when you meditate on one or the other, my question is that there is an inter sort of a relationship. There is an interpurse of samatha with vipassana or vipassana with samatha, because you can't really escape one or the other. You cannot be just samatha and no vipassana. That's what my question is. Can you separate them?
So,
because
I think
they are observing the same object, and an object is impermanent. The object is dependent arising, so there changes all the time. So whether you're vipassana or samatha, I mean there is an element of samatha in vipassana. Likewise, the other way around. That's my question. Can you really separate them?
Yeah, that's all. 其實啦，我做啲其實有啲啦，same 咩咧same 有啲啦咩啲，因為啲新嘅人啦，啲哈東啲理解有咯，哈東當新嘅啲講咩講啦，因為啲 same 有啲啦咩嘢，跟那查實啦，大把人那扎電力那扎東西那扎，因為啲 same 有啲啦啲咩嘢，因為樣做啲。體內當哈動，然後說啲就把先這就內外那啲體內成有咯，因為啲就把切外那啲哈動啲差嘅咯，因為我呢啲其實啲天氣啦，啲我呢啲氣候所土嘅那，讓我啲生活為了土嘅咧，我啲體內因為啲哈動嘅，但是呢，我做啲體內啲切為高啦，讓哈動當給我有嘅，你就把切有嘅，體內啲講為高。ini tiang hatong di komekala yang China ye tang kewa yoris. Di sana ni orang tu tengok ni di sebul lap tu yoras di China le di hatong es.
Sebul tu orang tu China ke hak China kada ni si bingan ni kan orang hantu kita percaya deh. Siapa sih sebab sih jorwa. Bisa ke shit la ta shini se de cheba chi shit ka te so to ga ni de ke so to ke cheba chi de shit la se de te ni ba so to ga ta la to di shit de to la ta cheba chi cheba chi ge de han to chi ni shit la ba te mo ni de ke ga chi ni shi我都搞到基本上是自己今天希望你不就行了吧？那今天当不今天到第一就是在今天第一那里，那个接到就当是吧？你这个有的了把最最多有的了面呢，有的了把并不是并不进来，这个行都有的了把，就我就你就把这个了，我回去，这了把最记得把人那个孙那个那我的心里是，他等这些下午的时候，有进来下午的。
预计了下就一定运进囊路了，被那车上。
有点单天进入个
那个地方运堂部那个运进囊路来，我来一个样这个起对那地方发动是有的。对，
不离过的。这个的今天没法找我嘛。今天嘛在现在有
点他动过没搞？
他动。他动就把就的现在我是有新病案的。
有新病案。
你把它电部送的过，就把其实现在过马拉巴去的电部有。那我觉得行都离脱了这个叫。
你这样的新的这样就是为了记载的记下了。
我知道。
你这样新的档，你的新的档，他都你个样是，
马桶里头的这把这。
是，that's all. Yeah. So when we talk about how say the 因为我这啲他都点嘛，你妈妈经验啦，新的。今年的准备干啦，今年这个，今年的拖油嘛的，今年的拖油嘛的，今年我这边就把车位呢，就把车的他东西还有嘛咯，你就把让咯，
那个控制不是确实不是搞什么问题了，有些毛毛写的了，今年个确实的吧的，这把几个写的都行都不错的吧的，这把几个年度堂前。是吧？也不是是真的，还是是就进多少了？
然后我做的新的叫他给他呢，他都得准备干啦，你就把车备干啦，你新的是对他都是给我了，今年他都应该有的。
马都那有嘛？
他都马都
有嘛了？都那新的准备干了，这里苗。
新的叫他给菜，你得他都得团队叫他给有嘛？你。你就把让人，那就把让的，在那种时候嘛咯。你你个这样就那结尾呢？你讲说你个有我你得加强。Yeah. So, say what they love to right? Yeah. Yeah. So when we talk about a persons who have developed abiding and special insight, so from within the come abiding, one analyze the object. So that which analyzes the object is special insight. And the mind single-pointedly abides on the objects of observation is abiding. In the case that a person has already developed these two, come abiding and special insight. So within the come abiding, one analyze the object, and that which analyzes the object is special insight. So before one so if one has already developed come abiding, has not developed special insight, so whatever analysis on the basis of that shimata or come abiding is an analysis, and that analysis is just a normal analysis. It cannot be called as a special insight. So you can, so in the case that a person has already developed these two together, so it can be clearly differentiated, which is when the mind single-pointedly focus on the object, then it is a come abiding. And if one analyzes, when one analyzes it, then that is special insight. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Xiao? Or
Yes,
someone who raised,
Geshe-la, could Geshe-la give some example of special insight that does not related to emptiness, and whether this can we use this as a training to achieve special insight, realizing emptiness or not?
Use what as a training to realize special insight to realize emptiness?
Special insight that is not related to emptiness.
Or use that as a training to develop the special insight realizing emptiness.
Yes.
Ale, ya, ini di kisah yang tongi la, tongi main be, tongi main ba mi be, siha sate na tongi sungro na be.
Jadi orang masuk jadi Only the mommy because that we have a lot of three mobile. Kita kalau kita baca jadi foto yang coba ni, ni kanda, kunci bisnis sama lah kanda kita baca bilang apa orang.
Ini di latene, di tongi tobe adong, tongi tobe adong de gitu yonas. Kena cakap mitaba, ada mi be adong de, phone 이 균에 통이 또베 하동대 또 요나스
뭐기는 누가도 돼야 돼.
마신도네
뭐기다 본이 또 돼야 돼. 누가도 그랬어.
마신도이네 누구 다고 대 차기
그게 뭐라. 이거 칠칠 뭐라.
나서 미다바라고 이나데 근조베 취다고 이나데 가리나 디로
미다바는 아주 분석전에 미다바야 참고 차도 되고 꼭 가고 싶어. 그래서 또 아주 공부해서 와다 매도서 와서 분석 시리즈 또 하고 났어.
근조베 취기 때도 미다바데 미초를 참고된 소리는 하고 있다. 이네들 좀 마신도 이네 아주 대동이 또 두라. Yeah. So the example is a special insight but do not realizes emptiness. For example, special insight that realizes impermanence. So you can use this as a training, and gradually, then one will be able to, with this, then gradually one will be able to develop special insight that realizes emptiness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Today stop here. This is research.
미다바데 미베 띵엔 미다바 미베 하동데 디 양양곰네 미디 타마데 애니 대동이 도베 데 하동데 도투로
야야 당가서 게이도 얻으라든 그때밖에 못 도와줘. 무슨 때문에 좀 조금 이 담아서 좀 그 때마다 그때 이제 버는 또 뒤에 봐도 안 좋다. 본토에 내려와서 봤다 봐니 해도 도야다. 그 장은 이제가 주제다. 무엇이 내봐라서 대다 뭐니 봐. 한 시간 영탈하러 한 시간 영탈하 내가 민주다. ada penjola sabat itu berubah jadi orang sama pernah gitu adalah ini seni ini jadi khusus pasan di kumanya itu tapi semua Cina laba dengan itu apa coba jadi nama sebarang macam tu sama yang masuk tu ni ayam masih cuma ini dah pakai jadi cuma cek itu.
We conclude the dedications with we conclude the sessions with dedications. So the merits that we have accumulated through these Dharma lessons may be a complete course for Buddha Dhammas to flourish in all 10 directions and for all sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long with excellent health, and may all their enlightened activities be spread in all 10 directions and all their holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace. May excellent happiness prevail in the world. May the world be free of wars, conflict, pandemic, disaster, natural disaster, etc. So we dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away. So may their negativities accumulated be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who suffer and those who are sick. So may they quickly regain health and may life be filled with excellent happiness. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who help others, especially those doctors and nurses who help others in need. So may they live through the roots of virtue that they accumulated. May be a complete cause for them to live long with a good health and their life be filled with excellent happiness. In particular, we dedicate the roots of virtue that we have accumulated through our Chudors. May be the complete cause for the unmistaken reincarnations of the Lama be swiftly returned and continue to to turn the wheel of Dharma for the benefits of the teachings and sentient beings.
Doggy, Judy,
Zavege wadi tendang jowa kunda kambe dang che pa che sun lo sang trawa ye tenbe nyingbo rinpo se che jo chang jo sen jo rinpo che ma che pa nang ki kyu chi ka nyam ma me ba yang ko ne kon do pe wa jo jang pe pa we chi da kin pa dang kun do sang po de yang de shin de de da kun ke che so da lo che ke wa ri da dang che ra ko Nye dawa rinpo che ma ke pa na ke kyu chi ke pa nyam ma me ba yang ne kon do pe wa jo rin dawa rinpo che ma ke pa na ke kyu chi ke pa nyam ma me ba yang ko ne kon do pe wa jo te ta che su to ju be lang che che se se kan chen ten de yun chan na pe mo ten zeng ga zu la so te so she de le ro jo ni ni ka te pe te ma de ba ka le ju wei sam pe yi xin no ka te so me ten zeng ga zu la so wa te so du she le ro jo ya ye se ye rang zu lo sang ye wa ye se kyu ba ji rang shang xin ye kyang yu ma de me de de pe pa kyu le ge le zu国际协当这边之间被瓦拉当阳明宣准备国家间准备解决老马所瓦的。偏偏马律中为国际国天边等到马球做瓦也等了几多怎么这边么？如果希望写的一来帮，
出所讲的
其他当谁当给都给老婆接都给的被养多少被中给上对些被多就些肉，天上为国为心肝的边当的话马律中为年轻人是往的这个作为像被世界包头的有一句。
Thank you.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Geshe-la.
Thank you,
Thank you, Ken.
Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la, Ken, everyone.
Cheche,
Thank you, everyone.
Ken La. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.